What is going on, right? We had the poor start for TSM in game 1, turned into a victory. Here, a poor start for Immortals, an early first blood going over to Doublelift, but they recover beautifully. And really, once they established their lead in this game, they executed a lot more like the old Immortals of the spring split. And basically making a statement saying, we're not going to have a repeat of the playoffs from last split. We're not going to get swept by TSM. We're going to game 3.
I think it's the next game, game 3, everyone wants to lose early because that seems to be the strategy.
Right.
But I do think what we said, going into the series is expect a bloodbath, expect it to be explosive, even though these teams are evenly matched in terms of skill probably. The games will not look close. Right. They will be explosive one way or the other, and here again we see this just kind of blow open.
Yeah, we see exactly that. We see Huni reach for that Irelia once again, and it pays dividends. It kind of, again, it's fitting into that champion pool that he seems to want to play at least this split, but showing a real mastery of that champion throughout the game.
Yeah, it was Irelia against Maokai. Irelia kind of has a slight edge in that lane. Therefore, Huni was able to get that first TP off in the mid lane where it was a huge
It all started there about 9 minutes in. 9 minutes in, TSM choosing the engage, Bjergsen getting aggressive on Pobelter in the mid lane, and yet the turnaround comes from Immortals, netting 4 kills in total, 3 of which do go over to Huni. But kind of set up by everybody. I mean, impressive sidestep here by Pobelter on the Svenskeren Q, so he doesn't take that damage, lives, great TP in, and of course the arrow stopping Hauntzer in his tracks.
The biggest thing to me was, why was Sven behind the tower there? I feel like if he was with Biofrost, healing Biofrost, maybe wouldn't have died. And really well played by Immortals here, where it's just completely flawless, and Huni having complete trust in his team.
I really like that point about the Huni having trust, because you saw there was no hesitation at all where Reignover tunnels in, misses the knockup, but just once he has turret aggro, backs off and lets Huni go in, but keeps that turret aggro to the last possible second, so Huni's free to run around and just kill them all.
It gets him a second kill, essentially,
right,
because without having the turret aggro, he gets to jump onto Bjergsen as well and finish him off. So 3 early kills for Irelia. He builds into that now Huni patented frozen mallet, second item that follows the Triforce, but ends up doing work for it. As we see TSM on your screens just now, having their post-game discussion, probably breaking down, trying to figure out, oh my goodness, how did we lose in just 26 minutes, and how can we prevent that, obviously, from happening in Game 3?
I think one thing that was interesting in the draft is the Soraka pick coming out after the Lissandra. Lissandra has this super telegraphed, I'm going to end here, just got to track it and get ready to silence as soon as you see that come through. So it is kind of this big stopper. We saw when Immortals was doing that Baron, Bjergsen TP's in to stop it, and he tunnels in, but he gets his combo interrupted by the Soraka, who ultimately dies for it, but stopping Bjergsen from instant dropping that combo was what allowed them to kind of finish off the Baron and get out as a team.
Yeah, more than willing to make that trade, rather. Now, I do want to move ahead in the game. We have an LCS big play from that game with a tweet from Real Prism's Word. That kill on Doublelift and escape from Huni was pretty crisp. Coming back to you, Dyrus, on this one as the clip rolls out. Huni, just again, the mastery of the champion. He got that early lead, and then he did exactly what you would expect in Irelia to do in those side lanes.
I used to love doing this Doublelift in the old days when I'd pick Irelia or Rumble and sit in some random brush. But right here, Huni just straight up kills double, plays the creep waves just coming in, is like, hey Huni, here's your escape, and then with the heal from wildturtle and the rest of the team coming to back up Huni, Huni just baited that so well.
It's so impressive because there's so many things for him to keep track of there. He had to keep track of the Sheen proc timing, the cooldown, the internal cooldown of the Sheen proc, so that he could one-shot a caster minion on his way out, get the reset on the Q so he doesn't have to wait for the cooldown, waits just long enough for that Sheen cooldown, and then Q's back through another ranged minion, then to the melee minion to be in range for the heal from wildturtle before Soraka arrives to be the ambulance for the rest of the fight. That's just a.
And then he goes back in.
Then he's like, I'm not done.
We saw a Quas punish him once for that, but
right.
Huni's hungry, as they sometimes say.
Yeah, well, hey, as he's eating food right now.
Yeah.
He's refueling for Game 3 here. We do have those best of 3s. They can be long, so these guys got to stay on top of it all. Huni is also going to receive our Player of the Game honors. It's tough when we looked at this game. We say, well, there's really great performances out of everyone on Immortals, and especially in that mid lane replay, everyone had their moments. But for Huni, it was how he took that lead and pushed it forward.
Yeah, I think even though he kind of got caught off that one time in the Baron, situation that's set up, Immortals to kind of close that game out faster. But that's what he wants to do. He wants to pull that pressure to him.
Right.
He dies for it, and his team gets a Baron, and then they're able to snowball through like a fight in the top lane, another one bottom.
Yeah, it doesn't even matter if he dies there. I think it was like a well bait, like a well-timed bait by Hauntzer, but at the same time, it doesn't even matter because they're just going to get Baron and push down the lanes.
Yeah, exactly. They're just you more than willing to sacrifice Huni's life to put the pressure on the bot side of the map, pick up the Baron, use that as their tool for closing out the game. Now, earlier in the day, we did ask you guys to send in your questions to Dyrus and Mark, so let's pull up a response from PC Sanch, who wants to know what makes Ashe so strong in the current meta, as we saw wildturtle playing it in this game here.
It's always been a strong pick. You saw a kind of fringe pick by some people in Korea prior to even this season and this split, but it's really coming to light now that the support meta has changed. One, there's less tanks and engage, so in lane, it's a little bit safer. Kallista's no longer there to just throw supports at its face, so the immobility of Ashe is not as exploitable. On top of the fact that with less engage, you want some more, so Ashe fits there. It kind of is stronger the less engaged there is elsewhere in the game because you can't punish her as easily, and her engage becomes more valuable.
So one of the reasons why Lissandra is coming back to the meta is because Alistar got nerfed. He's not going to be there to punish the no mobility. We can see that people are picking Soraka, Nami. I mean, Braum's still there, but no one punishes as hard as Alistar, even Bartle.
Right.
Where Lissandra comes into the meta, and then you were talking about the Soraka pick, which kind of denies the Soraka, or denies the Lissandra engages, and it's a lot about the support.
It's really
meta,
interesting how it kind of, the domino effect, right? As soon as we see the support change, right, yeah, as you mentioned, Alistar goes out, Sorakas and the Karmas and the Namis, Zyras are coming in. That means we need more engaged from our AD carries. We can afford to take Ashe because she's less immobile but won't get punished for it. But then as a result, the Lissandras come in because now we're looking to punish the immobile AD carries. And that's what just really makes a lot of this early stages of the split fun as we watch the meta develop and we've had these kind of major changes implemented into the game.
And one more thing, that's also why Sivir is there too.
Right,
because more supportive AD carries.
Yep, fill in the gaps in team comps, one more engage. You have these, not very tanky junglers. A lot of them are carry junglers right now, so you try and fill that in how you can. You have tanks top, and now that tank top are kind of falling out a little bit too. You're trying to maintain this well-balanced team comp. You got to pick it up in other spots.
All right, well, 1-1 in this series over on NALCS 2, Envy and P1. Envy's up about 1.5K around the 19-minute mark, so looking to make that a clean 2-0 and go 4-0 on the split so far. We're all tied up, though, here on NALCS 1 between TSM and Immortals. So come back in just a few minutes to see which of these two Titans is going to walk away with the win. We'll be back in just a minute.